Hey, I'm back. Sorry I took a couple days off. My husband was working on the house and screaming and cursing and yelling the whole friggin' weekend. So I figured I probably shouldn't do a video if that's what's going to be in the background. So, hello. All right, so here we go. Gosh, it's just like shines in my glasses. Okay, so anyway, we were talking about, these dreams had really come back again, right? So, okay, and Jesus was always telling me to use him to fight off all of these things that I was seeing in my dreams, all these demons, how they would take me lower. Remember, we talked about like the 7 levels beneath us. Okay, so anyway, all of this is going on, and before I forget, my mom stopped over yesterday and she told me that I needed to tell you guys something. So if you go back to when I talked to my pastor about my daughter singing and told him that I was singing, my mom said to me that one significant thing that he did say to me, and I do remember now that she reminded me, was he said, when everyone dies, we all want to say goodbye. We all want to see our loved ones and on our way out. And he said, so we walked down this long hallway, and he said, and there's a lot of doors. There's a door for every single person that you knew, every single contact that you had, just every person on the planet, right? There's a door. And he said, and every once in a while, there's a door that's cracked open. He said, Alicia, you and your daughter's doors are cracked open. He said, they come to you. There's a reason for that. And my mom said that that was such a profound thing for her. So I definitely wanted to bring that up. Since she loved that, I figured, maybe a lot of you would love that also. Well, she definitely wanted me to tell you. And she says hi, by the way. Okay, so anyway, hi, Mom. Thank you. Thank you for reminding me. Keep reminding me of things, please. And you guys can all remind me of things also, because I know I've blabbed at many of your houses throughout the years with all the crap that's going on in my life. If you think of a story that you just loved, let me know. I'll make sure I share it. So anyway, all this is going on now. Let's not forget here. I'm at this point, I don't know, in my late 20s. I've had weight issues ever since my stepmother had moved into my house. I still was battling with that. Hated myself for that. I really liked myself, but I really hated myself. I don't. That probably makes sense to you guys. I don't know. I was smoking. That's one thing I did carry over from being 12 years old. So I was walking around smoking my Newport 100s. Thank God I quit doing that. But anyhow, so mentally, I'm a fucking wreck, right? I have like undiagnosed ADD. So I'm just all over the place, like bouncing. I've got 3 little kids, right? And my husband's working full time. At this point in my life, now we're in the house, right? And I started the best job ever. I started driving school bus for my kids' school district. And believe me, we'll get into that, because that's a whole other like, not even just a chapter. It's like a whole, I don't even know, like a lot that went on there, because there was a lot that I opened up to while I was working there. So anyway, my friend and I decide to go to a psychic. And it was one of those, that takes you years to get in, which, like, whatever. I did not understand that then. And, like, if you know, because I can't get in with me for years now, right? So crazy, right? But I remember waiting to see her and complaining about how long it took. So I do remember that. And got in to see her, and she just looked at me and cocked her head back and forth. And now I had taken my wedding ring off before I went in there. And no, I didn't have a tan line or anything. Maybe I had a dent. I don't know. But I mean, come on. Like, I wasn't falling for that. So anyway, so I go in there and sit down with her, and she just starts looking at me like really weird. And she's like, I can't read you. And I said, well, what do you mean you can't read me? What do you mean? She said, you can see spirits. And I said, no, I can't. And I was frustrated at that point. I just wanted to choke her because I wanted a reading. So I was like, what the heck is going on? And I really wanted a reading. So she says, no, you can see spirits. And I said, no, I can't. I can't. And she said, well, have you ever seen a ghost? And I said, oh, God, yeah. And she said, oh, okay. How many? And I said, oh, they're like all the time. Oh, okay. So what, that's what she says. Oh, okay. So what do you think your reasoning is? What's your reasoning that you're seeing them all the time? What's the reasoning for that? And I said, oh, every house I ever lived in was haunted. I said, everywhere I go is haunted. And she looked at me and she said, honey, it's not the building you're in. It's you. And I'm like, you're cracked, lady. Like, you're nuts. You're fucking crazy. And that was kind of how I was just pissed at the end of that reading. And because I didn't get a reading. That's what I got, right? And I'm like, dude, this woman's she's nuts. She's just nuts. I mean, she gave me a little card reading and it was a good reading, but like the majority of my reading was that. And I was upset. Now, Jeffrey's here. Yeah, so I was upset. Truly, yes, all my houses were haunted. That's what I said to her. So anyway, oh geez, you got that bird going. Now I can't think. All right. So all my houses were haunted. That's what I said to her. It just crazy, crazy, crazy. Now, so now it's been a while and I start thinking about what she said to me. And I'm thinking, well, what the hell? When my great-grandmother passed away, when I think I was 18 years old. I'll never forget, she said to me when I walked into the emergency room, my great-grandmother, her name is Pa. That's what I called her. So I knew my great-grandparents. My mom's dad's parents. So when I would go and see my grandparents, they lived in a bi-level and my great-grandparents lived downstairs. So I hung with them, man. Like I knew them like until I was 18 years old. And I think my Dalla, her husband, passed a year or two earlier. Anyhow, I walked in to see Pa in the emergency room and I'm lying in bed thinking this years later. I walk in to see Pa in the emergency room and everybody's there to see her. I walk into the end, I walk in, I'm at the end of her feet, and she looked at me, she goes, who were all those people you brought with you? And I just was like, what? You brought all those people with you. And she died within 12 hours, I would say, at least within a day. And I was lying in bed thinking about that, and I thought, well, geez, isn't that weird? Never thought anything about what she said to me. Then I said something to my mom, and she remembered her saying that to me, and I'm like, all right, that's just kind of weird, right? So now I've got this lady telling me that I can talk to dead people. She's out of her mind, right? I mean, I've been watching TV. I've been watching about this kind of stuff. I'm interested in it. I think it's kind of cool. I didn't really like the haunting stuff, but I like this kind of stuff, like, talking to dead people and that kind of stuff. And I always thought it was interesting, but I never ever even considered that's what was going on in my brain, that's what was going on around me. So anyway, that lady really, really, really made me think. So then, time goes by. I'm driving school bus here in Douglasville. Okay, we're gonna get going through some of that with the next one. Okay. Hang on and I'll make another one right away.